Yahoo! Prof here, and we've got another quick one for you guys right here. Why quick? Well, because Paisley's here, and she wants to go to sleep. Well, actually, because I work in less than 8 hours, and I want to bring what we'll be opening up in this video with me. So let's get you guys hooked up. Now you can see my wall of sticky notes. Normally I have basically almost a whole desk dedicated to laying them out. You don't have to tighten the clamp for the camera mount. Well, if you want to see some previous videos, we've got two right here. The modal from Karas Customs in Ultim. This is related to what we'll be doing here, and people are like, "Why? Okay, with all the delays, why'd you wait?" That's why I waited. Look at that. Yellow's my color, but this orange is second on the list. Alright, so we got two packages here. Here's my headlamp. This is my modified one. Pick up your Nichia 3000 Kelvin Army Tech from, I think it's Killzone flashlights. They also sell the strap, the Skill Hunt strap. And I have a post over on Reddit about what O-ring I use to make that all work. This is by far my go-to headlamp now. Even though I have that Polish one, I did swap the end cap for non-magnetic. Just works better for me. Some of you might love the magnetic. Not me. Alright, so first one I did open to check what it was because it's real thin. Alright, so what this is, let's do a 2x zoom. No, that's a 5x zoom. Well, there you go. 5x zoom. Bada bing, bada boom. This is the Karas Pen Co. 2024 Pen Club coin. Now, I did not have 2023. I really didn't have a reason to. Turns out there was a reason for me to. I would have just ended up buying more pens because there were some exclusive ones. I believe it was 2022. I was a part of it, but that's when you could buy their pry bar in brass. And that let you in the club. Normally, it's a coin like this guy, and really, it's just this is just a like you get that year's thing. I think it's like $30, $35 to get in. You're like, Elliot, why'd you buy this? Well, the reason why I bought it and why you're seeing it is because this pen, the new modal that I really like, in Ultim, is exclusive to the Pen Club. And they actually announced that this time. A lot of times, the heads up, they won't even show the Pen Club pens, which I don't agree with. I think they should show them because then people know if they want one of those pens, they'll join the club. You know, and then even then there's a limited one. But I was like there when the timer went ding 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 ding. You know, I had to buy it. I was in there, put it in my cart, and it came with like I think I ordered it Monday or Tuesday, and it was here on Friday. I got a juice up in there, my last juice up refill, and then I swapped the bolt also from Karas Customs. This is their Cerakote bolt. Swap that to a uniball since it fits now. Turns out they also said when they came out with this, they also came out with a copper one. And how they managed to make the copper ones is, yes, the modal uses the same bottom as the revised bolt. So I was correct in that fact. Oh, one thing I do have to correct with the modal as well is that I said there was like a screw in there that pushed down on the refill, and it wasn't like a cup like many pens. However, it is, and you can see that in the modal. You only see this screw on the aluminum ones because it's nice and bright and shiny and visible in the bottom. In this black one, you can very clearly see that it is a cup very similar to how Tactile Turn does theirs. So with that, that's why I ended up being able to use the juice up, because even though it has a hole in the middle, and I thought the screw was going through the hole, it may still touch the hole. Like there's a triangle on top of the refill for the juice up, and I thought the screw was going in between there, so then it can push properly. It kind of felt like that, but at least in the Ultim juice up, no problems. It uses a cup very similar to the tactile turn, so the original may have been just because that was like a first run modal. Juice up, beautiful refill, especially for the Ultim. So let's put all that up there like that, and get into the slicing and dicing. So this is not my everyday carry. I everyday carry the yellow one. I wish the yellow one was available in the HD, which means it has the notch, not just the XL. Love this orange one. Ended up with 3 of them because the finish kept being messed up, and like literally the point of this one is this matte orange finish. It is beautiful now that it is all corrected. Tactile Keychains did an awesome job correcting that. Everything one could ask for was done there. So what do we got in here? We got 1 kniff and 2 clips. Yes, because they were almost out of clips. And these are the Smooth OG clips. So instead of with the matte, they had this in green and orange. They added the smooth clip, right? And then this is the tapered smooth clip. Gives it this really cool, I'm sure you've seen like flashlights and other hunting gear that have this sort of tapered clip on it. Very cool vibe for the orange. Love it. Well, at the same time, they came out with standard clip but smooth. Now, I wanted one for what's in here. But somebody at work wanted the other one. They didn't know if they would want to pay up. I'm just going to tell them I have an extra one and let them know, you know, if they want me or if they want one. I bought an extra one. Also, the smooth ones tend to be, it sounds like they did make more now, but I think more and more people are getting away from the, because the other clips are very sharp. I would have to get my yellow one. Here, maybe this one you can kind of see. So the standard clip is like this, where it's got these ridges, and that's so it actually like doesn't slide on your belt. However, that can really rip up pockets and stuff like that. So, especially once they switch to the steel clip, which is easier to do coatings on, and is much tighter on the, like it retains its clippiness more. And I deal with this daily on the yellow one I have. Not in like a bad way, but yeah, I deal with it. So the smooth one gets rid of those spiky bits and the spiky bits do kind of follow the theming of the knife. But what do we have here? And this actually feels quite heavy. I'm surprised. Now, one thing you need to remember is and they finally made it because TUKK was originally titanium. Utility knife something. Oh, the utility knife keychain. And I believe that because now it's tactical keychain, so that's what TK stands for. So, kind of since they went to the XL, it's no longer titanium utility knife keychain. It is titanium utility knife, essentially. But finally, they have made an XL in titanium, which is something I've asked for. Like, hey, when are you doing this? And there were some prototypes that went out at some point. I'm going to say this was with the previous owner, Brad, who's still doing development for them. Hey, we got a Paisy Marie. Hey, Paisy. Paisy Pays. She's playing with her plastic bag, guys. I think it might have been the previous owner, Brad, did raw aluminum because he was having so much trouble getting coatings done on his knife, and that was killing his throughput. That he's like, hey, if you guys want the knife in a utility-based form, like he didn't even do clear anodize. I never bought one of those because I had enough knives, and then I bought one. I had one of the last normal batches that was made, which, and then I have the first batch of the new design, which is my green one that you've seen. That looks actually very similar to my modal. That used to be my everyday carry. Looks like this green. You've seen them before on the channel if you've seen any of the stuff. And that one was my everyday carry through my previous job and into this job until the yellow one came out. Because the raised button on these, if you go back and see when that came out, it makes a big difference. All they actually did is they actually didn't make the button any taller. They just milled it like a tiny little bit more out of the inside, which lets the button pop up more. They ended up doing that, I think, because they had so many buttons already made that it was easier to modify the milling of the top piece than it was the button itself. Because the buttons are still titanium. So I may have mentioned it earlier, but something to keep in mind with titanium is part of the reason why it actually has a little bit better hand feel to me, and why it just feels like more solid is because it is. Titanium, everybody's like, oh, it's super light. Titanium, like this, without a clip, is significantly heavier than this with a blade in and with a clip, because it's aluminum. For the same amount of space, titanium is heavier. Now, why would you want titanium then, right? Like, well, Elliot, why would we want this then? Well, it's stronger, so you can use less titanium, theoretically. But if you're going to mill the exact same item out of one thing, right? It's going to be heavier in the titanium than it was in the aluminum variant. So that's why Squares likes aluminum pens, whereas I generally prefer titanium. In many cases, I actually prefer stainless steel, which is going to be even heavier. But and traditionally, a lot of places will not use titanium because you're going to end up with like a tumbled finish like this. Now, this is a great everyday carry, looking like this guy here, right? Nice tumbled finish. They're going to be making the TK ink in the same tumbled finish. They wanted to do it for the Kickstarter, but apparently the poll came back to like what finish to use for titanium, and everybody wanted raw. I think when people, personally, I kind of told them this, I think when people thought raw, they meant no coating, not no finish. Because the tumble finish, like there's a couple, in mine there's a couple like marks from the milling process that are left over, and they didn't really polish these. So like I don't know if mine was more towards the end of it, and like you know the cutter wasn't as good as it was on day one or whatever, you know. Wipe off some more oil. Always, when you get your blades, they're going to come with a very thin amount of oil so they don't rust in the package. Now, normally there would be no harm in leaving it on there, because with your normal knife, you're putting in there, even a screw might be retaining it, or there's something holding onto it, like gripping it. In this case, how the TUKK works, TUKK XL works, or HD for that matter, or the ES, which is the Elite series, is you're actually like, there's magnets in here and pegs, so when you push down, you're actually sliding it off the peg, and when you push it forward, I feel like there's more play in the game one. if you guys are wondering, this is how it should go. And this is made easier, actually, by the raised button. Why this one's just... There we go. It feels like there's just a little bit more play in the overall... Yeah, there is. I need the camera that you guys are on right now. Hold on. Alright, so I'm gonna have to message them and see why they did this. Do you guys see that the gap below this blade is like 2 times, I mean, maybe that's not actually 2 times, but it seems like 2 times thicker than the gap under this blade. Remember, this is a HD, which is the updated design. Then they backported some of the changes they made in the HD to the XL, and then this is an ES, if you saw how easy that one. If you're running, generally the matte finish is going to be harder and less slippery than a hard glossy finish like this would for Cerakote. Also, an anodized is going to be even more slippery than that. But yeah, if you look at this, it's a little bit harder because this is a dark one. But you can see that gap below the blade here is way thicker. So I'll have to reach out to him. I'm not saying it's wrong, because they do make these changes, this sort of changes all the time. I use these literally daily though. So I don't need the raised button, right? It was a nice improvement. Everybody I've handed it to are like, oh, holy crap, that's like a huge usability. Like, it's just way easier to get it right. But yeah, for example, here is my Geek Squad one that I had made. I've blacked this side, orange that side. Square says literally, I bought them literally the opposite one. And look, I can do this all day, even though it doesn't have the raise button. But apparently, like, as their brand has been expanding, like, people were having, and they were getting bad reviews about not being able to deploy the blade. And that little height difference on the button really did make that much of a difference. And here you can see that that one's flat. You can see where this one isn't. You see it just raises itself that little bit above. And maybe I just need to get used to that bigger gap there. I do wonder why. Yeah, you have to lower it more. Yep. Yep, I'm just going to have to get used to that bigger gap. I'm just going to, I did take some pictures in between there, so you can see, but I noticed, like, that, I could fit a whole second blade in there, but let's try it. One's got orange all over it. Let's not try that one, because it looks rusty. This one's not all rusty. But I have a feeling that I can fit, oh, easily. Look at that. I can fit 2 blades. I could probably fit a third one in there still. So that's 2. And these are the carbide ones, which technically can be a little bit thicker. They're not as thick as the heavy-duty steel ones. But, I mean, like I said, I can probably fit... Here's a... Oh yeah, these are DeWalt carbide. The DeWalt carbide and Stanley carbide are exactly the same. Yeah, there's a third one. So there's 3 in there. And you know what? I didn't even think to check. There you go. See, this says TUKK XL on the bottom. Some of the limited edition one, the one that Mooski has, which was actually like a I don't want to say like a bargain bin one, but it was like a battle worn would kind of be the term that Karas Customs used for their pens. Or it's just like all extra parts essentially. Yeah, so that's the gap it would normally be. Let's try to just fit one more in there and see if it works. Sure. So you normally fit 2, now you can fit 3 blades. You do need room, you basically need a blade width to push it down and move it forward. This has this has like 2 blade widths. So I'm wondering why that is. Like, hopefully it was done purposefully. Usually with their stuff it is. But I know, like, I actually thought something was wrong with the buttons. They're like, no, we did that on purpose. Because we have these feedback. I'm like, oh, cool. Other benefit of the button being raised like that is it's now a fidget toy. So, you know, there you go. That's pretty normal. Yeah. So I just got used to get used to that thicker. Maybe they found some. I know if you use ceramic blades that you don't have to like keep replacing them on. They're thicker. I'll just reach out and see what they did. Usually they're pretty open about it. They might not tell you exactly. Oh, we took off 2 mil off the inside of the button, but they'll say, hey, we took some material off the inside of the button. I could just measure it because I own all of them. I don't own all of them because I don't own some of the very earliest ones. But it's kind of assumed once this goes out in the market and I can get my hands on it, I can measure the differences between these. I mean, like, we kind of just measured it by sticking more or less blades in. You know, that's a thing that we just did. So we'll use this guy to cut open one of these. And get out our clippy clip. I don't think I've ever run one of these with a lanyard on. They've made lanyard beads in the past. I have one on my work tool bag because just to kind of extend the zipper, make it easier to open. That is actually a thing, by the way, guys. Like, especially with those big zippers, just having a little bit more leverage when pulling, kind of nice. So, yep, this is just a smooth clip. Let's give you guys a close-up of this guy in general now. I chose to get the non-honeycomb one in just smooth, tumbled titanium because I thought it looked the best. Once you start adding their honeycomb design up here, I did the same thing here. You know, it's just smooth orange. I think the green one had the honeycomb on it. I don't actually have any within arm's reach that have the honeycomb design. Yeah, I generally prefer the like less busy designs, and especially for just the straight tumbled titanium. It can look really good with some of the anodizing and stuff like that, but for the straight tumbled titanium, the smooth design looked better. Pair that with a smooth clip. Yes, I'm saying smooth like that. Firstly, yeah, look at that. I gotta screw that on yet, but you know, nice pairing there of just like smooth plus smooth equals extra smooth. And like this if I didn't have my yellow one, this would be EDC. Or if something happens to the yellow one, this is just gonna go to EDC. I love everyday carrying, just tumbled titanium. You do not have to worry about it. The only thing that you less have to worry about than tumbled titanium is stainless steel. But yeah, this you don't have to worry about a finish getting wrecked. That's why they went to tumbled right away on this. They wanted to with the TK ink pen, but the Kickstarter, everybody wanted the raw one. Now I think that was an issue with wording it, because I think I even voted raw, and I would prefer titanium or tumbled. Because this tumbled finish, if you drop stuff on it or other stuff hits it, is not going to show wear because it's already kind of like a little bit worn, is what it is. And yeah, so it's just, this is the kind of thing I prefer to carry. Like my clip for my keys is now just a tumbled titanium one, rather than the orange. I had the white that the Cerakote was starting to, you don't have to worry about like wearing out a finish either. If it looks really pretty, because it's just clean. I'm starting to really kind of like go back and vibe with these. I guess the other big thing that would make me everyday carry a titanium XL like this would be if they made a titanium junior, which they have not done yet. The original TUKK that I have in copper, and as does David, he got one with me. We have those in copper. Those were originally made in titanium, but then for ease of finishing and stuff like that, Brad had switched to aluminum. So the XL was never made until this point in titanium. I kind of would have wished they would have done the HD with its little notch here, because that can be really quite useful. Not the end of the world though. And like I said, we did find another upgrade that has been done. So let me get this clip on, and then we'll follow up with some final thoughts. Alright, I couldn't use the stubby screwdriver from Linus Tech Tips because it is currently upstairs being used to repair some light fixtures and the counter. It was nice to get in under the counter. Yep, my black on black on black. Not looking, I don't know. It looks fine, but there's a goober on it apparently. I also got my yellow one that I built at LTX up there. So, oh, they widened this up. On the old design of these, you couldn't put the screw in that easily. Like one of them you really had to force. So the smooth ones, because of the smoothness, like they were allowed to redesign the clip a little bit. They got you a bit of room on the clip here. It also seems like they didn't bend it as much, which would be good. Guess I never checked. That guy's bent down all the way. This guy, not bent down all the way. Though, like, it's probably fine for a lot of things. Not better for a number of things. But yes, I can definitely see why Linus did not want it. Like, originally he wanted this black shaft. But some of these chips were made within, like, the first day. And once any of this finish starts coming off, it's just going to keep getting worse. Now, the stubby one in all black, oh, that thing looks gorgeous. I do like my yellow custom one. It's grown on me over time. I didn't know if I was going to like having the selector ring as black up here. But I think I got the vibe that I wanted. Because I wanted yellow body with the red jet turbo button. Kind of like one of my controllers is. And then I didn't know what color, because you didn't want to make this red. Then it looks like Ronald McDonald. You know? So, no Ronald McDonald here. We got our clip-on thing. Looks beautiful. And if you're like, how would you run this thing? This is the extra one. I need to make sure I keep that separate. Oh, tomorrow how I'm going to be running this is because I'm bringing all the new fancy stuff in to work. Is with, oh no, that's not garbage. I'm out of it. Took my sleeping pills before I started shooting this video. Let's just say, woo-wee, they're kicking in. So I'm heading straight to bed once this is done. This definitely need to keep up. This, I have a million of these, and they're like, kind of stickers. They have some nicer ones. So you always get one of those no matter the order that you put in. This also is a gavage. I may need to reuse those envelopes to send back one of the pens. So obviously what makes sense is you buy their new tumbled one of these, pair it with their tumbled TUKK XL, right? An obvious pairing to them at least. I have the raw one. I may... Whoa! Hopefully like that action shot. That's staying in for sure. Probably not, but you know. There you go. This is what I would run with it. Any of these bad boys. Those are just straight up Keras Customs tumbled retract EDK. Probably what I would actually recommend running with it. And the bumps here match up bumps there. And that is a Bolt V2. Not one of the newer ones, so it's going to have like a juice up or a juice in there probably. There you go, juice up. This is Parker compatible, and this is G2 compatible. So this has a normal juice in it, because it can't have a juice up. So this is probably what I would run with it personally, is one of these three. Maybe once they make a titanium modal, that would be glorious. Keras says the modal is not the replacement for the EDK. A lot of people, and they're like, it wasn't intended as an everyday carry pen, but based on size, it's the same size or even smaller than EDK. I personally see it as a replacement. Not that this is bad, because it's click style. You might prefer that. King Arthur wants attention. King Arthur James. King Arthur James. King Arthur James. So yes, this clip is definitely needs to be bent down some. Because I just went to go push this forward and it bends it up even more because you get under it and you get that sort of effect. And I can show you how to fix that. It's real simple. You just take the outer screw out here, right? Take this guy out. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that before, so I definitely adjusted the clip some. Then you undo this one. That then you can put the clip then like this. Then you screw the singular screw back in. Just give her a little tweaky tweak so that it can't move. And then what you do is, if you notice, you can tell this is higher than this. You just there you go, now it's lower. Now if that's too much, you do the opposite. You bend it back. But yeah, you need to put it on backwards like that, otherwise you don't have the leverage. Like this, that little piece down there is not tight enough anyplace to have the leverage to make this work. And yes, I have thought some of their ones recently have been too tight. And I have done the opposite in some cases. Especially when they weren't like the cool painted colored ones. You know, like the yellow one, or I got some fancy, really fancy ones and some other ones of them. Those I usually don't mess with, but they weren't going to be my everyday carry anyway. But the everyday carry, which this has a possibility of being, needs to have a decently tight clip so I can clip it onto my belt or my pocket. But not too tight where it's it's not quick draw. The reason why I love these is that I either keep it in the be the watch pocket or the coin pocket on my pants, or right on my belt. You just grab it, quick draw. Well, get back to me when I'm not tired and I've adapted to this. Here, this is what's happening. It's only pushing one side of the blade. There you go. Yeah, you just gotta push down farther because there's more back there, it seems like. Just quick pull it out. Yep, definitely gonna have to adapt to this one. Here. Dun, 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 dun. Very used to this spacing right there. So, but I had to adapt a little bit to the new baton as well. So, I am pumped that this finally came in. It took a little bit longer, I believe, than originally intended. not like a ton longer or anything, just a little bit longer. But now that is properly tight. Could even hook it on like a t-shirt, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, look, it even hooks on a t-shirt. It's tight enough to do that. Yet it's not too tight. It's pinching. I got a good amount there. I'm realizing that some of this could be the matter of sharp steel rubbing against raw aluminum too. Sometimes I get it first try, and then other times not so much. There you go. Seems better. I don't know. I'll have to get used to that bigger gap there and let you guys know. For now, there's a heavy price premium for that titanium one, and like I said, it's actually heavier. So unless you personally, like I can already feel it in my hand, just that tumbled titanium feel. It got like a drier feel than aluminum does to the touch. And unless you really want that one, or say everything else you already carry, like a lot of what I already carry is also raw titanium, then you might want to put the extra money into the titanium model. I would recommend either no clip then, or get the smooth one, or maybe you could go smooth taper as well. But it's a looker. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the honeycomb. That's just gonna make this side even more busy when it doesn't need it. You gotta scoop it. Of course, I can't do it on camera now, and I just did it 5 times off the camera. There you go. See, just gotta get used to it. Just a little bit different with that. Normally on the previous ones, you would press this down so that the thing slid along the back. Like way back there, right? Like flat back there. And then do it. This, it seems to be made so you don't have to. Interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I'll reach out to Tactical Keychains. Yeah, I know there's Tactile Turn, Tactical Keychains, Cross Customs. It's a lot of, and there's Tactical Knife Co. They make their own knives, but Tactical Keychains is who you want if you want a knife like this that me and basically all my friends use. If you're in some sort of either retail setting or IT setting, or like especially like an on-site IT, this opening up packages, cutting cables, like most of that does not require a. I definitely gotta just get used to the mechanism. Does not require a like big knife. In my on-site tool bag, I still carry like a bigger DeWalt. I like DeWalt's knives. Milwaukee's are okay. They don't have a retractable blade on the end though. I like that because then you can choose how far you're cutting into stuff, like if you're cutting carpet or other things. But these are just way handy for, say, if you just need to strip a wire, or if you need to open, like I said, mostly open packaging and breaking down cardboard. And the cardboard we're breaking down is like the 1-ply, 2-ply stuff, not any of the real heavy duty stuff that you'd see like in factories and stuff. Where this would be much too small. You don't have enough leverage on this because you're essentially holding it like this, you know, like this. Like you only have 1 to 2 fingers ever on it, or I should say 1 to 2 fingers of leverage ever on it. So, but for your everyday carry stuff, this beats out. And I used to use before this I used to use a Gerber EAB exchange blade, and then an EAB Lite, probably for 10 years before I got one of these. So I had this style of just carry utility knife instead of a normal knife because it was better fit for what I was doing. I can definitely see where certain types of knife like real knives can be useful to certain types of people who are doing certain types of things. But for me, being able to have a sharp blade at any point in time, like that thing's literally razor sharp because it's a razor essentially, and then be able to flip it over to get another one. And if I need like say it dulls, you just rip that blade out, throw another one in there, and you're out of your way. Sharp blades that really help. And I got sick of I had a really nice high carbon steel, Japanese steel knife, like a foldable knife, and constantly have to sharpening it because cardboard, which I was doing a lot of breaking down of cardboard at the time, that it's really hard. It's because it's all cellulose. It's really hard to actually cut through. Whereas a nice sharp one of these just, it, you know. So I also do a lot of things with these because I always have them on hand that I shouldn't, like prying on things, blah blah blah. That's why I now carry. I should say now, probably for more than 5 years, I carry a little pry bar. Do I always remember to use the little pry bar? No. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about the TUKK XL in titanium. Specifically this, I think they call this the Stonewashed finish. I much prefer this over a raw. As you can see, all the other pens and stuff that I was talking about having. And let me know if you have any questions about this or anything else I talked about in the video. Are you guys the same as me, though, as well? That's a question for you. Would you rather rock a raw titanium knife, or do you want to rock, a fancy, pretty, like the Ember here that I took a couple nicks out of? Like that's the downside of running a, like a nice, pretty pen, is if you actually use it, it gets worn. Not probably worn out, being the materials it's made of, but worn. Would you prefer a fancier knife, or because this could be banging around like on the outside of your belt, or it's scrape across the ground if you're laying on the ground doing shit, or in your pocket dangling into your keys and other stuff. Is this the route where you would go, or would you want one of those cooler designs? And then for me, I don't care if it gets worn out. To me, that's just like, hey, it shows I'm actually using it. Now, do I want to like purposely wreck the finish? No, I'm not going to. So I'm not going to like wipe this with some sort of solvent that would take the finish off it, or this, because this is a fairly clear Ultim. It's not like a frosted Ultim. Probably don't get by this with too much. It can take some heat because it's Ultim, but heat and chemicals on this, probably not. Whereas just a straight up titanium, don't really have to worry about any of that. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.